What's up, good people? Okay, so I am recording my voice right now. It's a long story, but I hope it works. This is the third time I am making a Photoshop tutorial, and if you see me go look at my movie player, I'm just checking that I'm still recording my voice. So let's get started. I always like to start with whatever person or thing I took a picture of on a blank background. That's just the easiest way to go, and make sure lighting is all nice. And of course the lighting was a little messed up here, so I do have to go fix some things in my face. Usually I like to start out with things that are imperfections that I could fix in real life, like posing a little differently, or like I forgot to reapply my lipstick, or having the light face me a little differently so none of these shadows are there. Long story short, I like to go in and Photoshop some imperfections that I think I could fix. Like, I didn't stick my chin out much here, and I know I could have, so realistically I could make my chin look like this. It's just, I am now fixing that. So yeah, that's what I basically do. I go in and fix all the imperfections that I notice. Just subtle. I don't, chisel my chin out or anything. This is just something I know I could fix easily on the spot. And I think I'm gonna move my chin just a little forward. Not very noticeable. There we go. And then things like this, like the light hitting me funny, I use one of my favorite tools, and I use this usually for the zoom tools down here. You're gonna notice that I'm using this a lot, just to zoom in and out, and you press Alt to zoom out, and then just normal to zoom in. But I'm gonna go over here to what's called the patch tool, and this is great for, like, let's say you got a freckle or something you don't like, you just circle it, you grab it, and you move it, and then it'll make the freckle go away. Obviously there's no freckle there, but that's the point. So like you'll see here, I'm just gonna outline this little shadow, then I'm gonna drag it to a very close skin area, and then voila, it's gone. I'm gonna do that just a little bit underneath my eyes because my concealer was creasing. Again, something I could have fixed in real life. I'm gonna do it over here just a little bit on my smile lines, just to make me look a little more cartoony, because again, this is a video game character, it is not real. And then I'll do the same with some pieces over here, just eyebrow hair that was out of place. Let me make sure. And then I like to zoom in all the way, and I'll fix, like, as you can see here, there's a lot of hairs that were sticking out because, I was kind of lazy and didn't feel like covering up my eyebrows. So I usually go in with this little finger, which usually will show up right here as a teardrop, or when you press and hold it with your left click button, it'll go down to this smudge tool. This guy's a little great guy, that's what I was just using on my chin. And all I have to do is hold the left click button and drag up. And then sometimes I'll drag to the side. And then voila, those hairs aren't there anymore. And so we'll do that a little bit. I'm gonna do the same right here. So I don't know what happened there. And then sometimes I'll push the other color back. This is great if you want to make an edge a little more crisp and clean, especially with eyebrows these days. And then I might do it a little bit on the same side. I think I'm good. I think that's it. Oh yeah. And then for something like this, the lips, that's really easy. I do this trick all the time to like recolor things. So like right here you could see my lip was showing. So I'm going to go over here to this little tool, and this is the eyedropper, and it's basically going to select the color that I'm looking for, like that color. And right over here I added a new layer. That's what this little button is. And you'll notice that I don't notice that I'm doing these things. Forgive me, I'm just so used to photoshopping that I'm like, oh, everybody knows this. So basically I'm going to paint right on top of that like I am a child just having fun on Photoshop. Look at that. Looks weird, out of place. If I zoomed out, it would look real weird. And I'm going to go right over here to multiply. I lied. Don't do that. I think it's overlay. Yeah, that works. And it looks a little weird right now, but I'm going to go over to the eraser tool on a 0 hardness level, make it pretty small. and go around that to blend it in just a little bit. Hopefully that works a little bit better. My lips still look pretty crusty, but it looks better than that. So basically what this button is right over here is the blending mode, which basically tells you whatever layer that you've selected is going to blend into the next layer. So that's basically this color that I have is blending into me or my person or whatever is my background. Alright, then we're gonna alt click all the way out, and I think that's it as of imperfections in the face, and I am gonna go around the body just a little bit, maybe, yeah, right over here. I had a little bit of puckering going on, I just needed to lift up my sleeve, but I did not notice that, so I'm gonna go right over back to the warp tool, and then make it a little bit bigger, but not too big that it will be noticeable. I'm just going to take that in just a little bit to make it look like a little bit more natural. Again, this is something I could have fixed in real life. Just simple, really tiny movements. There we go. And I think this was falling down, but I can't really fix that in Photoshop. I'm not that advanced. But I don't really mind. It kind of keeps it like natural, like as if I've been actually moving my arms a whole lot and stuff. And since this layer is already on there, I'm gonna go right over here to layer and oops, and go all the way down the bottom where it says merge visible, and basically it's gonna keep them together and they are now one layer. And I'm gonna double click that. So now that I've double clicked that, there was a lock here and it's no longer there, which means I can do this with my eraser, and there's gonna be this grid background, which means that it's see-through. So when I save it as an actual image, it'll be white background or black background, no matter what. Which isn't really what I'm looking for. It just really, really helps me get a new background on the background, if it makes any sense. So I added in a new layer again. This time I'm gonna go right over here and use the quick selection tool. Use the quick selection tool to select the area around me. So basically all this background stuff from my basement and this white background. And what this tool does, this quick selection tool, looks kind of like a paintbrush and little dots around him. I call this ant mode. And what it basically does is select all the color that is similar to itself. So basically it sees this white and it's going to select almost all the white it sees, and see it does that to my shoulder too, and it did it all the way over here because it's like, yeah, that's similar. I'm like, no, it's not. And we'll go back and fix that. I'm just getting the gist of it. I'll let it load. Okay. We're gonna go in and basically deselect all the things around me, and basically this is a plus, which means that it's going to be the thing that you can erase later, and the minus is things that you want to keep. So now I'm just going around my subject. Just really getting that there, and then sometimes if I mess up, I'll go back with the plus and fix that. Oops. And for the hair, I did learn how to select individual hairs, but I really don't worry about it when it comes to such unrealistic characters that I cosplay, especially when their hair isn't as natural as this looks. So I'll probably just go in with the eraser and then make it look pretty cartoony. And as for the gaps here, I'll figure that out eventually. I usually put a black background behind the character anyway, just to keep it crisp and clean and look like it's in the environment it needs to be in. And I'm going to zoom in so I can see this a little bit better. go back to this guy. And slowly go around and deselect it. Sometimes it's a little difficult to do, but it's kind of a learning curve too. It'll learn itself what to select and what not to select. See how it closes in, so don't worry too much about the lines. It's just trying to figure out what's around it. There we go. And if you see any stray, what I'm going to call ants, you definitely want to go over that and make sure that you've subtracted it, and especially if it's in your model or subject. Only because if you don't and you leave those there, you could probably erase small parts of the body. See right here? And you're like, oh, it doesn't matter if you erase it. It will, because it'll show up, especially when you do like black background. Suddenly there's a big like bunch of little black dots all over your subject, and you're like, what did I do? You left it open, that's why. I think I'm all selected, yeah. So then I'm gonna go in with my eraser. I'm gonna make it pretty large and completely hard. And we just wanna go all the way around it, and I'll get that little splotch over there. And we're gonna select, deselect, and then just erase that what's left over. Now you're like, oh cool, you could just end right here. No, as you can see, there's a bunch of rough, weird edges around me, and we don't want that. Like, I also completely missed a spot right there. But like the sleeve looks pretty good, my arm looks pretty good, my waist does, and I forgot a complete piece right here. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna edit and go back. And see, I make mistakes all the time too. So we're gonna edit, undo, and then step backward. Let's do that a few times so we can go in and reselect that. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and subtract this area right here. Well, I guess add. I'm gonna do that on this side too. Here we go, now back to the eraser. I also like to take this opportunity to crop my subject into whatever frame I'm going to need. Like, for instance, an Instagram photo is going to be 1 by 1. So, and I know I wanted it to be an Instagram post, so I am going to have to crop a bit of myself out. And I know that, I've learned that you want to keep your subject mostly right here, or here, or here, or here. So basically your face. Especially when you're standing or sitting, you want it in one of these corners instead of going like this way, which makes me look like I'm looking off into like, it just looks trapped. This is what you call, yeah, trapped. So I'm gonna move it over here, and I do want you to be able to see at least a little bit of my red. I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to crop it here, even though it's a little out of bounds. It still keeps my subject in place, and I just wanted to see a little bit more of the costume that I worked so hard to make. But yeah, there's more white space here than here, which is what matters. Even though it's a little bit, it's still, it looks so much nicer. Cool, sorry, I had to check if I was still recording my voice. Okay. So, and then we're gonna go out of that. This is the move tool at the top. It basically is just the main tool that I use when moving things around. Like, you'll see me move text or the subject around, which I'm not going to because I really like the way it's placed. But yeah, you could leave it there, but I'm gonna go and select this layer and zoom in and basically go around all the really, really rough edges. These are pretty good, but like down here, it's a little awkward, and like these, so you can see it's like kind of toothy, and I'm gonna go around it with a very, very soft and small eraser. Actually, even smaller than that, which is new for me. Basically, this makes it look faded, but when you zoom out all the way, it looks so nice and professional compared to a really, really jaggedy line around your subject. Because, you know, photoshopping a different background in the picture is really, really hard to do. Or really hard to pull off, I guess. Like, I've seen a lot of people that I know do it, and I'm like, good job, but like, oh boy. But yeah, just gonna go around all these little edges. I will get pretty quiet because I get pretty focused on this. That look uneven. And this takes me hours, which is why I am now charging people to do stuff for them. Because doing this is the most specific part that's really, really time consuming and takes so long to do. And I think my gloves are pretty okay. I kind of like them being like this simply because there's so many pieces to them. It's supposed to be a bit more, I don't know, fruffled. I don't know the word. Like bunched. I like that look. And when there's a black background, it looks pretty blended in. But like right here, that was a really rough edge. I have no idea what's going on right there. Oh, I think it's I don't know. But I'm gonna erase it. It's kind of funky. Yeah, and I always find new things with each photo I do. And sometimes, like, because the grid is black and white, it's really hard to see colors like this on it. So I'm going to take this blank layer, move it behind me by just dragging it down. Gonna go over here to the paint bucket tool that I hope everybody's familiar with. And I'm going to, all I did was just left click this, and I'm gonna select a really neon color, so like, watch your eyes. That way I can see what I'm doing. It's really weird, but I really love doing this, and I was like, oh, let's do green. You know, just a fun time to play with color, because like, I'm never gonna use neon pink in any other photo. I'm gonna go ahead and make my eraser just a little bit larger so that this is less time consuming. Yeah, basically we're just gonna follow around every single edge, and sometimes you mess up like I just did, but like, I'm not too worried. Again, the best part about the backgrounds that I usually do are going to be black around the subject, or really, really dark versions of whatever area they're in. Like me and my boyfriend were this Harley and Joker, and we were in a parking garage, and I had to work around that, which was fine. It was just I made sure that our shadows were heavily there, and I altered it so that it would be like, I don't know, a darker image and look cool and graffiti compared to keeping it bright and simple, which I need to try more with. And this is one of those difficult parts, is doing the hair, because you want it to be so perfect. And my wig was just not having it. I was also wearing a lace front in this by Arta Wigs, and I did not glue it down, as you can see, and I actually can go in and cover that up real quick. I'm just gonna simply go like this. Just kind of shake it a little bit. Move it up. Let's see if you can notice that from a distance even more. Yeah, kind of more. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go on the patch tool with that. I've never worked around a lace front before, so like, different, so different. Let's do that several times just to really, really patch it up. There we go. Easy peasy. Go back over here. Just gonna. Ooh. Where is my eraser tool not working? There we go. Weird. Okay. The hair I like to be really, really careful with, especially pigtails, which are a pain in the butt to work around. Cool. Make sure my voice is still recording, because that's like super important. And then of course my wig, or my hair underneath my wig, was just really frumpy that day. So like I'm gonna go around it and like kind of shave it off a little bit. So it looks a little bit more natural. A little bit of a bump, but not too much. Yeah, like a slight Also, the nice thing about having a pink background or like a really neon background is you can see your leftover scraps from erasing. So like this big chunk, like you can still see that mark right there. Yeah, that's about 10 times better. And there definitely is a learning curve with Photoshop. Like I've been doing this for, I want to say 3 years. Even still, it's, you know, I'm still learning things. Like I just learned about blending modes over here and like how cool they can be and how you can make like things look neon without them being neon. It's really cool. It is also a bit of like therapy, which I really, 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 really enjoy. And I know I'm cutting off a lot of hair, but she's kind of got this like really straight pigtail look. And now I'm gonna figure out how to work around all this. I'm gonna make my brush way smaller. I'll do the same right here. Maybe not. I think I'm actually going to duplicate this layer, which I just right-clicked and then duplicated it, so that way I can just erase on top of this and you're gonna see the same thing. But wait, and then I go on this one and then erase it a little more. Maybe. Oh, that just looks really bad. Let's make those. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, it looks great. There'll be a black background. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and delete this layer then. Okay. Still recording. Awesome. And then, see, okay, here it is. I left one of the, a part of me still selected, which had the ants on me, and this is what happens. It really, really sucks, but I'm gonna obviously have a black background on me, but like, if you were wearing all black, like let's say you were dressed up as Batman, and then suddenly you wanted a really cool yellow background to match the bat symbol or whatever, and then like, there's a yellow line somewhere in your outfit, and you're like, what the hell? Yeah, that would look really bad. So like, watch yourself, because I obviously did not, but I am being a little lazy because I've done it so many times. But yeah, so yeah, we're almost done doing all these edges. I'm just gonna ignore it because I know I'm gonna have a black background, but still, just be aware. Yeah, like these edges are real choppy. Last time I checked, this is not Tomb Raider. Very fun. Or Final Fantasy VII. Got some pointy shoulders. Just going around these last details. I was like, I'm missing something. It's got a little bit just there. Again, something I could have fixed by posing a little differently. And I kind of like my thing hanging here, just to make it a little less dramatic. Going around all my edges. And then you kind of ask yourself, why do you do this even around something that doesn't look like it needs it? There's always going to be a little bit of an outline from whatever background you're using, whether it's black, white, green, or whatever. And I think it looks a little tacky because I'm one of the people who does notice those things. Oh my god, this was falling out of my shirt. I didn't even notice that. Or my corset. I love this corset. It still fits her personality. But like, I knew I was gonna have like a fake background that's black. So I don't know if I like the hair like that, but like, whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this beautiful neon layer, and ta-da! It looks so much cleaner and crisp. The hair looks a little funky over here, but I really don't care. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and create a new layer. This is the part where you add the background. And you're like, oh cool, I'm almost done. No, you're not. You're not almost done. Actually, I think I can do it right here. Let's just choose a really random saying. I think I got one of my, I like took a bunch of screenshots from when I was playing the video game on the PS4 of the words that she has or says, writes, I don't know. Where is it? Oh, I didn't look in cosplay. Nope, that's not what I meant to press. Did I just, yeah, I opened the goddamn picture. Here we go. This one's funny. I really like it. So with pictures like this, you want to press Shift and then left click and then drag it up. And then you want to just move it around and keep doing this until you like how large it is or the position of it. I think I want to keep it around here, and then I'm going to angle it just a little bit this way. So hopefully you'll be able to see it. This is not going to be the final picture. I'm going to find different words to put in the background because I've already done this one, but I think it's really funny. And then yeah, you're like, what the heck? And then when I put it behind me, of course it's not in the shot, but whatever. Still looks like the game, which is all that matters. And you know, there's still this really rough background, but wait, we're not done. Don't even worry about the background yet. We're actually going to go back to the subject. And I always like to, basically this is how I blend myself with the background, is selecting a really common color throughout, so like this brick color, kind of a lighter one. Ironically, the color that I almost selected earlier. For the lips, how funny. And then I'm going to go back to me, and then go up to select all. Yeah, this is just me blending myself into the color of the background. If that makes any sense, hopefully it does. Giving me a filter that makes me look like I'm in this video game or setting. Like, if I was in a blue room, I'd kind of look kind of blue. Does that make sense? It's a pinkish area, everything's kind of glowing pinkish red, and which I got totally wrong when I was doing all my photos. I was like, oh, I can choose whatever color I want, like blue, which I really do like the blue versions. So, it doesn't always have to be accurate. But I'm basically going to go over to my paintbrush tool, but actually select it with my left click, like by holding it down, and go over to my pencil tool, which is this big guy, and I'm going to, whoops, not yet, don't do that yet. You gotta make a new layer, then do that, so that you don't ruin the beautiful layer of just you. And then you're going to go over to blend mode, and I usually like to do overlay for this kind of thing, because the two main ones I use are overlay and multiply to color, but multiply is more like bland, and then overlay kind of keeps your depth. And that does look a little too dark. I usually make it about 50. And then I almost want to select a brighter color, but I don't want to be neon, so I'm going to do it again. And then color over a second layer. And then we're going to actually go to multiply. This is going to be my shadows. So basically I'm going to erase everything but everything over here. So I'll show you. I'm going to make my eraser real big, but keep it at the softest it can be, and then go over and erase about everything, but kind of keep some edges of me dark. And I just go back and forth between the brush tool and paint tool, making it really large, and making areas of me pretty dark still. And I am going to make this about 60% hardness, if not 50. Yeah, 50. Yeah, it makes me blend in the background a little bit more. I almost want to add a little bit more pink, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to deselect. Yeah, like that. I'm going to add another layer and then move it all the way below me, but keeping it on top of the words, which I also happily labeled words. And I'm going to go over and just create a black swatch. Keeping my brush tool, I'm going to make it a little bit larger. And a lot of this I just do randomly, like I don't really have a set order. This is just kind of what I do. And I'm going to paint over all that checkerboard. And then kind of brush around the edges, giving it a vignette. And I will go back and, oops, do exactly what I just did on accident, is erase. I'm going to erase around the words, but then go back over here and kind of color that back in. I am going to add a blank black layer below words just to keep it cohesive, I guess is the word. And I do kind of want to multiply this or overlay it. Overlaying like this is going to keep it darker. Well, I guess it didn't do much. We like that. Sometimes I like to play with these layers because, or play with the blend mode, because sometimes it'll change and sometimes it won't change anything. I like soft light. Part of me does want to go back and make myself a little bit more pinker. Let's try doing some pink highlights around me. So, same process I just did with the overlay and the multiply is going to select, reselect, yeah. New layer, and I'm going to do it on top of both those things. And one last time, hopefully this works. I'm going to go ahead around me again, highlighting my chest and things that I think would be backlit by this. We're going to go over to hard light. Yes, okay, finally got the perfect color. I want to see what vivid look, the other lights look like real quick. Yeah, that's too much. It's kind of what I'm looking for, but I do like this more. And I'm going to make it not as opaque. Let's try 70, if not 80. Let's try 80. And I'm going to go around and gently erase it with a pretty large eraser. It seems useless to have such a small amount of stuff. So I like that a lot. And I do want to keep this hair black. Let's see. Oh, good. Okay, yay. And some of my edges are a little funky, and I'm just about to go over them one more time. I think they are, I'm not sure. But real quick, I'm going to hide those layers, select me, go to layer, merge visible, and I'm now all one solid thing. And I'm gonna go around me one more time, a little bit to erase some things like this over here. Like, what is this? Just gonna go around that edge lightly. And then make it small again, around 30. What this does is it kind of blends in all those edges that we just made to our background. So like some of the recoloring will change how it fades. Does that make sense? But I do want to keep some things backlit, but I am going to go over some of these things. And of course I'm being a little haphazardous, like that. Like this line I don't want. Really crisp line I don't want around me. I do like some of these lines, like I like the ones around the glove, but I don't like the ones around me because I am not black fabric, I don't glow. I'm gonna go around these belts because as you can see they look a little crusty. But these are kind of my final touches on this. And I'm just lightly going over them, I'm not completely erasing them. This does again take lots of practice. Oh my god, like who is she? I think I'm pretty pretty good on edges. Like, I kind of like that one. I don't look too forced in the background. I'm debating whether or not to erase these lines, because I like them because it looks backlit. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I think I'm gonna maybe, just maybe add a little bit of a beignet around me, just to tie everything together. I'm gonna do it with a really dark, rich purple. Do I want the reddish purple? No, I want black. And I'm not even I'm barely clicking within the frame. Oh, not on top. It's just like I want the edges to softly fade. I think I'm gonna do an overlay for that. No, bad idea. I just want it to be normal. Let's see where things out. I might do one final erase, sorry guys. Keep you waiting. Yeah, there we go. And I'm gonna add my name in the corner. This is, again, a very simple version of what I do. Also, doesn't look that great because the words are blending into my hair. But I'm gonna change the words in just a minute for something else. I don't know what yet. It's just all my downloads are downstairs. So yeah, just gonna add my name real quick. I don't know why I added a new layer. Oh, it's so tiny. Oh, I don't want copper plate. Just adding my Instagram so people can't copy, or so yeah, people can't copy me or just take my picture out of nowhere. And I will change the color of this. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to move it. And let's do -90 degrees. Drag it over here. And I'm probably gonna make it this peachy color. Ooh, scared myself. I'm gonna make those words much smaller. It's way too large. 100's fine. There we go. Actually, I almost want to just make this a solid 90 degrees. Yeah, that's better. And then you're like, what do I do now? Well, to make it a real picture, don't save it when it's like all the 1,000 layers. You're gonna just flatten image instead of merge visual. This makes it a locked background again. This makes it a normal photo. It's no longer a Photoshop document. You're gonna go File, Save As. And I usually like to label my things with underscores. I learned that in my video game design class. I'm just gonna label this Revamp AK Marley. Actually, or one. Save. Okay. And then we're done. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you had fun watching me, and I hope this helped you, make photos in the future. You can always play with backgrounds. Again, black is going to be your best friend behind any model that you have, simply because it's easier to erase the edges and make it look like that person's there. If you do have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I'll definitely try to answer when I can. I'm just thinking of any things I should add. Well, I hope you enjoy this. Again, please contact me if you have any questions. I hope this helps you in your awesome journeys, photoshopping, cosplaying, or whatever you want. I hope you guys have a awesome day. Stay safe and stay tuned for more Photoshop cosplay tutorials.